Yo, what's going on? I'm at 3K, about top 700 in the world. I think 60 something in the US. I've been running Loon Cycle as usual. Sorry for not uploading for a little bit. I mean, to be honest, I've been super demotivated to play this game, and yeah, it's been hard to get myself to play, but I decided to push for a bit since it's the last season, and yeah, I thought I could share some replays. The meta is definitely a lot different now, considering that there's things like Evo Witch out and just a lot of annoying decks. So hopefully some of these replays, maybe I can show you guys some cool stuff, but yeah, I'm just gonna show some replays. Okay, so the first game is against this Golem deck. I don't actually think there's that much Golem in the meta, so it's probably not something you guys have to worry too much about, but a lot of times Golem has been popular in the past, and it's pretty good to try and know how to play around it. So he's running Cannoneer with this Zap version, which I think is kind of weird because normally they run something like Barb Barrel, but when he went Cannon Cart in the back and I knew he had Cannoneer, I was already thinking it could possibly be Golem. So in this situation here, when they go Golem in the bridge and you have a Muskie like this, I actually think it's a good play to go Bomb Tower high because you want to keep your Muskie alive, because I knew that the Cannon Cart behind it would kill my Muskie, and then if I go Bomb Tower in in the normal spot, my Muskie is not going to get enough value and he might be able to spam me behind it. And when they go Golem at the bridge like this, they don't have enough elixir to immediately support it with like a Night Witch or anything. So you have like a couple seconds to sort of get your defense ready. And so I think the bomb tower is actually a good play, protecting your Musk. And also some stuff might die when it walks into the bomb. So yeah, I also went for the miner on his cannon cart because I was trying to kill it early. So yeah, good thing my bomb tower sort of shielded my Musk a bit from the cannon cart so I could get the barb barrel down. I snowballed Ice Wiz away. So this is a pretty good first defense. And obviously he's spamming me here, but I should be okay if I just use my distraction cards right. Here, when he goes Barb Barrel, he is... What I could do here is normally minor, but I realized that he has a lot of ground cards out of hand, right? He has like... Normally he would have like guards and Barb Barrel. So instead I spent one more elixir to go Musk. And also it's good to just use Musk more because you can get your Evos. But I wanted the Musk to counter push because I knew his guards and Barb Barrel and Ice Wiz were out of hand. So I could force him to use something like a cannon cart or a air card. That's why I went Barb Barrel to protect it. And then yeah, he goes cannon cart and then he zaps to retarget. So I already know that I'm up a lot. I was thinking like maybe I could go Snowball plus Ice Golem and then save my miner from my Loon, but I decided to just play it safe instead. The good thing though is that when they're running this version, you can definitely take advantage of Cannoneer. So like here, even though we're like relatively even elixir, I knew I could do this Loon play and then go Skeleton's opposite lane because he used his Zap just now and he would have to spend the extra Barb Barrel to defend the Skellies. I got kind of lucky that he went E Drag in the back, but it still was only one hit, I think. So, or not even one hit, yeah. Honestly, that's kind of all you can really expect when they already have both air cards in hand, but at least the surviving E-Drag is a pretty easy King Tower activation, which is super, super useful in this matchup. So now we've gotten to this point in double where our Evos line up. I have Evo Musk and he has Evo E-Drag, and I know that he wants to use the Evo E-Drag to get a ton of value out of it, so even if he goes Cannon Cart in the back, like, you don't really want to fall for that bait. I went in with Loon again because I want to get him to use Evo E-Drag. When he has that in hand, make sure you put your miner in the back so that the chain effect doesn't sort of kill both the Loon and the miner. And then something that people have been doing a lot recently that I had to adjust to is they've been predicting my Evo Musks a lot. So you got to be super careful because a lot of decks are running guards and stuff, so just don't be too trigger happy. I probably didn't need that Barb Barrel here, or not Barb Barrel, the Bomb Tower, but yeah, I probably could just gone with the Barb Barrel. So I went in again. I knew he's going to Evo E-Drag. And here, he knows I have Evo Musk in hand, so he's going to play his Evo E-Drag behind the Golem to sort of protect it. And in this position, if you want to get sneaky, you can do this play that I did where you go Snowball and then Evo Musk like that. I think a lot of times they don't really expect this. And even if they do, like, they kind of have to commit even more to protecting their E Drag, and then his golem is basically dead. So yeah, that play basically already sealed up this game for me. When they don't have Evo E Drags to attack, the offense is not very good in their deck, and you can sort of get them in a cycle where you're just constantly attacking. So at this point, the game's already won, and yeah, I'm just going Skelly's opposite lane because I know he would bar barrel and zap, or not bar barrel, tornado, just be annoying. But yeah, at this point, game is pretty over. Even if he goes golem, like, you know, he can't stop the miner chip and the loon. So yeah, I can probably just skip ahead a bit. Okay, the next match is against this dude running a really, really annoying giant graveyard deck. I know a lot of loon players struggle with this. It can be a hard matchup for sure. And he's actually running the version with Evo I Drag instead of Evo Snowball, which I think makes it really hard for sure. I think Evo I Drag is one of the cards that, along with Evo Witch in this meta, that are just really hard for Loon Cycle, and you definitely have to learn how to play around it. But yeah, I knew that he had this version of Giant Graveyard when he played that bowler in the Snowball, and I'm going Musk in the back here. So a big fear against Giant Graveyard is getting screwed over in single. Basically, you know, they can go with giant graveyards at the bridge and you can just lose your whole tower. And so it's pretty common to like get ready to like block with bomb towers. So I was kind of already hovering like this. So yeah, I played the Ice Golem there just to distract the bowler for a second. And against Graveyard, I think it's more valuable to use your Miner on defense rather than your both your spells. Like a lot of times I see people go like Bar Barrel Snowball. Miner is actually a better choice because it's actually has a pretty fast attack speed, and so it's decent against Graveyard. But yeah, that's kind of how you want to make sure that you're dealing with these pushes in single, because you could just lose your tower easily, and if you're down one, it's basically impossible. So I'm trying to, again, cycle my Evos. Like, I'm going Musk preemptively because there's not much he can do in single to punish me for it. Because his giant is out of hand, so he can't go right now. I went in here because I thought that I could get away with overspending on offense and then just late bar barrel the witch. I mean, even if he was running the minions version, it would be hard for him to defend, but he had to commit a bowler to that. So I was sort of waiting for that I drag just so I could snowball it, and he kind of did a bad snowball too, because he probably could have done it earlier and would have saved a hit. But you can be aggressive in single against this deck when you know that they don't have a giant graveyard in hand to punish. Just be really, really careful, because a lot of times the air defense is better than you think. Like snowball is super good, and boulders can be really hard in counter pushing. So yeah. I went in again here, and again, I blocked the giant. Honestly, I got kind of lucky with that. Like, a lot of giant graveyard players would predict that kind of thing, and it's not always a great play, but luckily, I knew that I could get away with it because he uses Snowball, and then when you do Bomb Tower plus Skellies, when he doesn't have Snowball in hand, it's really hard for him to defend it. Like, even if he goes arrows, it's like just a lot of elixir. Here, he went guards in front of his eye drag because he was protecting it for my Evo Musk. But I wasn't going to use it anyways because I was saving it for his Evo I Drag. You might notice, by the way, in this matchup, there are just so many cards that you could possibly use your Evo Musk on. I mean, here, I ended up using it because I realized that there wasn't enough time left for his Evo I Drag to be a big threat. And I didn't block the bridge, obviously, because I had enough elixir to get this kind of a defense down, and he already had a bowler, so... Yeah, I think it's possible to get away with cheaper defenses like this in double when you have more elixir. I sort of took a ton of damage here, but that's because I was trying to save my snowball, because obviously I knew that I could attack here and win. In this kind of position, make sure you stay level-headed and don't try and force a loon connection, because if I tried to force a loon hit here and then waste my snowball, there's no way I could have defended the counter push with both those Evos. So I knew here that I was going to use the loon to tank and then go for miner chip. So definitely be really cognizant of when you're using miner and when you're using loon to tank. But yeah, I gave him a little BM here because obviously I hate this matchup, and he played it pretty poorly in my opinion. Okay, the next match is versus Sparky. I think this sort of Sparky deck has been very common in the meta. I think it's very strong against a lot of the things that are meta relevant right now, so it's good to figure out how to play against it. There's been a couple of rules that Loon Cycle players have figured out over the years for how to deal with Sparky. I think it changes a bit now because you can basically in single. Normally, I try and be really aggressive with getting musks down, not to push, but just because I really want to get to my evil musk, and so I've been more okay with cycling musk, like maybe even first play. But here, when he played his Dark Prince, that's a dead giveaway that it's Sparky. So I was already a little bit worried about overspending here because I wouldn't be able to stop the push in single, and that's really the biggest fear a lot of the times. Here, I notice he's at my tower first, and this deck usually runs 2 small spells. So normally I wouldn't do this, but I went minor skellies here because I want to force out his rage. That way, when I'm on defense, he doesn't have both small spells in hand, and I can at least actually get value out of my skellies to distract a Sparky. That's usually a big issue because they have so many easy ways to deal with the skeletons. So I go bomb tower first. That's pretty normal, and then I go barbaro like this. Yeah, the mini Pekka can be pretty hard to deal with because you need to kite it while distracting the Sparky. I put my musk in this position. Sometimes you want to put it on the left side, but I was thinking that I might have to sack one Sparky hit, and when you go with that game plan, you want to play your musky lower to get more value out of it. I was a bit worried that since it was a chef variation, I wouldn't be able to stop this, but it was a good thing that I made that play earlier to go with the force out his rage because obviously he misses zap a little bit later. I could have played my skeletons in a different spot, but if he had raged, the Sparky would have retargeted way faster. So I think it was a good heads up play there. Here I was already hovering my Barbarel because I knew he was going to Dark Prince, and I wanted to try and get it down before it charged. So now we're in a really good position. We have our Evo Musk in hand already. It might be tempting to use it on his air cards, but definitely save it for a Sparky. It's super, super good against Sparky. And so this is kind of what happens when you're super aggressive with getting your muskies down in single. It can pay off. I would say when they use these kinds of cards, like it can be really scary if you overcommit with a snowball because the counter push is a lot harder to deal with than you might think. So yeah, I went with Bomb Tower here just to be safe. I knew he didn't have an elixir for Gob Giant anyways, and I would get back to it by the time he did. So, like as you can see, like it's harder to defend the counter push than you might think. But here I knew he was going to go Sparky in the back, and then I also knew that he was going to predict me with his Dark Prince because, now that Evil Musk has been out for a while, people have been adapting. So I went Loon just to punish him because I knew that he had to use his Mega Minion and be pretty hard to support his push. And now I can go Evil Musk a bit later. So yeah, definitely get used to the mind games with Evil Musk, especially as you get against better and better players. If you fail one of those plays, it can just lose you the game. And yeah, you really need to get as much value out of it as you can. Here I went left lane because he uses Mega Minion. I had my my Musk down to support it. So I think it got pretty scary here. So long as you protect your Musketeer, you should be okay. But you got to be pretty aware with the Gob Giant. And minor on defense especially is really strong. Pulling your muskie in this spot is really good because, obviously you can clean up everything, and I can even put my bomb tower there one more time so that it's still targeting the Gob Giant. So that muskie got like probably over 10 elixir value. Definitely MVP of defense. And in this position, the game is basically already won. Just make sure not to be too dumb by trying to force something if it's sort of not there, because the counter push can be scary. But yeah, that's basically how you play against Sparky. Be very aware in single, be very aware with how you use your Evil Musk, and try and force out things where you can. Alright, next match is versus this Lava Freeze deck. So I know most people who face Lava, they're facing like Fireball or, maybe Arrows, Zap, Miner. But this guy, Fluffy Potato, he's really good at this Freeze deck. I think he one-tricks it. I literally lost to him like 20 minutes before this, so I was already expecting to lose. He's just really good with this deck. I actually think that we have matchup. It's just Evo E Drag can be really hard to deal with. But I think I've mentioned this in my past videos. Lava is one of those decks where you can really bully them in single, especially nowadays when they're not running buildings. And it's also one of those decks where you can sort of get away with being very aggressive with going Musk in the back, and especially keeping track of their ground cards. Like here, I would never have gone in with Loon if I knew he had guards in hand, but since he used guards and Valk, I knew that my Musk would take care of all of it. I was pretty sure he was freeze on defense, but so I didn't really like cycle to my snowball or anything. Just kind of cash out my elixir advantage and not spend too much more. He could have gone loon with it as well if I was too aggressive, so always good to be aware. And of course, like keep an eye out for what air cards they spend. So I'm going with my Musk in the back again here, I believe. And so yeah, because I knew that he used both his air cards and his freeze on defense, I knew I could get away with a loon on the opposite side. Here he went with his loon. Really good lava players will do the bypass play where they go loon and then use their skelly drags to push out of range. But I knew he didn't have it in hand and he didn't have an elixir, so not really that worried about it. Yeah, this early loon connection really kind of won me the game. I don't know why he was so okay with Cyclone's eye drag. Like, I know he was trying to get to his Evo eye drag, but like, especially when I have Evo Musk now, it's definitely puts him on the back foot. So I was pretty glad about that. But even though he has Evo eye drag and I have Evo Musk, I don't think I actually used my Evo Musk on his eye drag just because he went lava, and because he's not running a big spell, I knew that I had to cycle my musks early because he couldn't kill them. So I figured at this point, like, I can't wait any longer. I have to go musk, otherwise I won't be able to deal with his push. He has Evo Valk as well, so it'll be very hard to get DPS down because he's gonna put it at the bridge. But because he's pushing into me, like, I try my as hard as I can to like delay the Evo eye drag because it's just so impossible to deal with. I put my muskie in a spot where he couldn't freeze it as well, so yeah. I think this is why I believe it's our matchup, because, you know, the freeze kind of does nothing, but like, see, this Evo eye drag is literally tearing through my tower. Like, if I hadn't delayed it even more, it definitely would have taken my tower, and I've lost a lot of games now where I couldn't defend it, so it can be really, really hard to deal with. I think a lot of matchups that used to be our matchup, like versus, say, like MK Bait or maybe even some lava decks, that used to be our matchup, it's now just impossible because once they get Evo eye drag, you can't stop it. Okay, the last match I'm going to show is this game against this Pekka deck. I think Mother Witch and Golden Knight have been really popular this season, so even though I think we counter this deck, it can be hard to defend, and there are some good tricks that you can use, especially when you're playing against a better Pekka player. You need to learn how to play around a lot of their stuff, so I think it's a good match to show. Right after he went Ghost, I knew it's probably our matchup, and it's probably Pekka. I went with Barbell early. They haven't been playing much Mother Witch, not Mother Witch, Magic Archer, so it's a relatively okay play. And then he went super aggressive here. I think that's the right play for him in single. Like, it's kind of impossible for him if he doesn't take a gamble, and yeah, he went with this play with the Ghost in front of the Pekka. But you kind of just gotta stay calm and make sure you know what they're gonna do. I knew that, like, he was either gonna go battle ram or probably use his spells, so I was trying to delay to make sure that I could still handle both depending on what he did. I could use bomb tower or whatever. But yeah, I think against Pekka, it looks like they have really bad air defense, but it's actually a lot riskier than you might think to go in, especially with like the new Golden Knight and everything. It can be hard to defend, so definitely be a little bit more cautious, I would say, in single with going in. I would say probably don't do it unless you're really confident, like they waste air card. But I would say, especially if you're not as good at reading elixir or sort of tracking their hand and you're not that confident on defense, I would try and stay away from it. What they're going to basically be doing is they're going to be cycling their battle rams a lot because they want to get to their Evo battle ram. And then what they're going to do is they'll put their Evo battle ram in the back, and they'll place their Pekka in a spot where it will sort of bypass the normal bomb tower placement. So you want to put your bomb tower one tile up from what you normally do. And then sometimes if they go with a Pekka push that's dual lane, you want to put your bomb tower one tile up than normal as well to defend the Pekka, because that way if they go battle ram opposite lane, you can snowball it into the path of the bomb tower, so it covers both lanes. So those are some like small tricks that you can do to go play around their battle rams, but that's definitely one way that you could easily lose, is they sort of get you with that trick. Here, like I said, I wouldn't recommend being too aggressive, but I went with just one loon because he went Mother Witch. Notice I didn't commit anything else because, like I said, I'm trying to be a bit more cautious. he went with Evo Pekka at the bridge, and then I played the bomb tower in the spot that I mentioned earlier, like one tile higher than normal, and then I let the Mother Witch connect and kite it back. And then Evo Skellies is really broken. I knew he didn't have enough elixir and to deal with it anyways. But see, that spot that I played in my bomb tower, I could like deal with his battle ram no matter which lane he played it. I could snowball it, or I wouldn't even have to normally. He did go with his Ice Wiz. I knew that I was up at this point. So yeah, just don't be too aggressive in single. You can try and punish them, but like maybe don't add that extra miner or snowball or bar barrel. Just go with the loon by itself. I knew he was gonna Mother Witch. I think I got predicted here, maybe. Yeah, I did. Well played by him. This is what I mean. They're getting good against us, but I mean, it didn't really matter too much. Also, in a lot of situations, it's honestly better to save your Evo Musk for Evo Battle Ram. Like, that can be really hard to defend when they put a bunch of stuff in front of it. But yeah, I went in again here. Now that it's double and I have a surviving Musk, it's a lot better. But I didn't commit Miner because I was really worried about him protecting his Evo Musk, his Mother Witch with his Pekka. That would have been really hard to deal with. So just trying to cycle more Muskies. He can't kill them. He doesn't even have a big spell. Like, on paper we win by a lot, but you know there's a lot of small things like not Evo Musk, Evo Battle Rams and Mother Witch predictions on our skeletons and Golden Knight interactions that can make things a little bit annoying. So just be careful. I think this Golden Knight destroyed me. Yeah, kind of bad by me to be honest, but at this point, like when you push into their push without your Muskin support, it's really scary. So I was trying to lock in on defense here. I think I go bomb tower. Yeah, see, it's one tile high. That way, normally if you played it in the normal spot, this battle ram would bypass it. Bar barrel to pull back is a good play because I knew that I want the battle ram to go in front. It's really hard to DPS it down when they have stuff in front, so you can do tricks like that to pull it back, and it still pulls. Here, just trying to get as much value out of my bomb tower as possible. You can see, honestly, this is why I shared this replay, because these defenses can be pretty tough. You gotta keep a level head and really watch for that Mother Witch. So I waited last second to go with my Evo Skellies, and then I pulled everything back with a bar barrel and snowball. I thought I might need to snowball the Mother Witch, but yeah, honestly, that could have gone really bad, especially if his Mother Witch like connected on my Evo Skellies a little earlier. But now in this position, you know, it's already game over. I would say the only reason I had to pull off that kind of defense was because I let that Golden Knight dash on both my Muskies. If that didn't happen, you know, I'd always have a surviving Musk to counter push with, and it'd be a pretty comfortable win. But yeah, besides that mistake, I think that's a pretty good game to show you how to play against Pekka. Okay, I think that's going to be all for today. Like I said, I've been pretty demotivated, so I don't know how often I'm going to be posting again, but I do like to show some cool replays to help out with adjusting to the meta and some tricks to look out for. I wish I could have had some better replays against things like Graveyard or maybe like more logbait decks that are super meta relevant right now, but most of those I had from like when I was pushing a lot earlier, and it's really hard to beat them anyways. So, you know, if I see them again and I get a good one, maybe I'll post that. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to see besides this. I hope the analysis was good, and yeah, see you guys. Thanks for watching.